Hello friends, today we'll learn how we can implement forms in React. Okay, so first of all we'll have to create a folder here. We can name this anything. I will name it test. Now we have to go to our terminal and we have to change directory to desktop where this folder is located. And again we'll have to change directory to this test folder. Now we are inside this test folder and we want to create our React app here. So we can run the command npx create react app, and this would create our app and our app's name would be app. You can name this anything. Now it would take some time because it will install all the required dependencies and it would require some amount of time to do this. Now we can wait. So it is, I think, almost done. Okay, so it is done. Now we can change directory to this app which we have created and we can run npm start. This would start our app, and while it is starting we can drag this test folder to our VS Code. Okay, and we can clean this folder up because initially there are various files in this which we do not need right now. Okay, and we can run localhost here to see that even our app is running or not. It is starting development server. Till then we can clear this up. We will delete all these unnecessary files which we do not require right now. Okay, so these files would be deleted. Index, we will clear this up. We don't need these, don't need this, we don't need this, and we will save this. In app we will clear this and we will clear this up as well, right? For testing we'll just make a small div here and the h1 tag here so that we can test that our app is running or not, and we can see that it is running. Okay, what is our goal here? We want to implement a form which has two fields. One is name field and the other is email field, and we want to detect the changes and put it right here in the console. Whatever we have submit, whatever the values the user has submitted. Okay, so first of all we need two variables which will store the name and email. Okay, so we can create those variables. Const name, set name which would change the name, and we will use state here. Okay, initially we can make the value of name as empty. Again we will use another variable which would be email, and set email is equal to use state. In the beginning it would be empty. Okay, we would create a simple form of HTML here which would have two inputs because we have two variables, one is name and one is email, so we need two inputs and one button. So you can see this will appear here. Okay, now we have to name these. Submit, and we can line break here as well so that things look a bit structured. Okay, now what we can do is we can give a placeholder to this which would show that what value this input wants. Here we want name, and in this we want email. So you can see. Okay. Now, what is the type of value required here? It is text, and in email it is also text. And what is the value which should be shown here? Once anything is entered in this, value should be shown as name, because name is what we are entering, and here value should be name, value should be email. Okay. Now we have to detect these changes whenever you enter anything in these input fields. So we have to detect the changes. So what we can use is, we can use onChange function. Okay, this would detect the changes, and we can pass an event listener. These event listeners are used to listen for any changes being occurred in the DOM. Okay, React DOM. And once this is detected, we can set the name to e.target.value, whatever being inserted in the text, in this input field. And we can copy this, and we can paste this here. And we have to change this set name to set email, because we are directing email in the second field, second input. Okay. And this button type, this should be, because when we click this button submit, we want to submit the form. So the type of this button should be submit, and these values should be sent to a function so that we can perform various actions on that. For that, we will use on submit here in this form, and we will call a function which would be anything, you can name it. I will name it submitted. And we have to create that function here. Const submitted is equal to, will, okay, I have made a mistake. This should be const submitted, and will use this event listener here as well, right? And here we will write event which is e dot prevent default. This would help us to stop the form to being reloaded. Once you enter anything in this form and submit, what happens is, this form will reload and all your values will be gone from here. So we want to see these values here even though we have submitted the form. That is why we use this function e.prevent default. Okay. Now we just console log, because we want to see the values of name and email here. Okay, so we'll console log, and we'll say that I want to log name and email. Okay, and we'll save it, right? And we'll go here and we'll write any name, James for example, and email would be james@gmail.com, and we'll submit. So you can see these values appear here, and this is not refreshed. The values are still here. Okay, so this was form in React. We can have many other types of inputs like password, right, checkboxes, and many other things. Thank you.